everybody. I just had a few odds and ends kind of things I wanted to tell you about. But first of all, can you hear this? That is a Sasquatch. 100%. If that's not a Sasquatch, it's a different cryptid with 17-inch prints, makes tree barriers, whoops, and all these other things. So I'm 100%. That is a Sasquatch. I get that sound at every location, over 40 miles apart. I'm kind of in the middle, so I'll go to one area, and then a few days later I'll go to the other area and swap recorders and stuff. I get this every location, and it will be for hours sometimes. It will be, sometimes, my cat's knocking the camera. Sometimes it'll be off and on for hours, but I feel like people are not believing me when I tell them about this, because even in like casual conversation, I don't bring it up, because what's the first thing you think? Someone says, you know, something was scratching. Oh, anything can do that, right? It's true, animals. That's a common thing animals do, but this is a particular sound. This is an established sound. There's an established history here for 3 seasons now. I get this every location. I even did a video last year where I compared 5 different locations, a lot of the same sounds I get at all the different locations, and that's accompanied with, you know, they'll be there at the recorder all night. Most of the locations that I record all the time, it's because they're there all the time. Well, they might walk away for a little while and come back, or they'll go silent, but they'll be there all night long, and it's accompanied with all these other sounds. I know that's a Sasquatch. I call it the scratch sound, and I've never heard anybody else talk about this. I used to call it the Velcro sound, because sometimes it's really intense and it'll sound like a tree being shredded, but it was like a Velcro wallet being just ripped over and over and over for a long, long time. So I just wanted to mention that. Sometimes I wonder, it kind of feels like a boys' club sometimes. You know, huntermen, you know, go out in the woods, they know all the sound. Well, I do too. I've been an outdoors woman all my life. I mean, I know I don't look it now. I'm middle-aged. I'm a lot bigger than I was before. I grew up on Lake Huron. If I wasn't in the lake, I was in the woods running around barefoot. I didn't plan to go barefoot in the woods usually. It's just I was always barefoot. I'd end up in the woods. I love the animals, the birds. I know a lot about the sounds. Even the squirrels and chipmunks, I love them. I can't feed them now by hand, because my new cat is a good hunter, so I can't do that anymore. But for years, I'd feed the chipmunks and squirrels by hand. I give them peanuts and seeds and everything. I even have videos of me petting a chipmunk, and I even got a squirrel to let me pet him, rub his tummy, more like it. But I notice these things. I've been trying to share audio and video. I've been trying to videotape at the larger lake mostly, because it's wide open more. I can move around, come back a couple minutes later, record where the videotape where the recorder is, show you there's nothing there, yet there's these subtle sounds that start while I'm standing right there. And of course they're going to be subtle when I'm standing there. After I leave, they get louder, different kinds of sounds. I know 100% he's there, but when I try to share it, of course nobody's going to believe me. It's frustrating, because it starts out very subtle. You hear like these snaps or knock sounds at the recorder. Many times before, they would do these mouth snaps and pop sounds. I'm standing right there. I can't hear it until I listen back to the recorder, and you can check those out too. So I don't think people realize how significant a thing this is. I'm trying to share and show, because he's obviously cloaked. The lake is right there. The recorder's like a foot or 2 feet from the lake. There's no big tree, no thick brush that he can hide behind. He's cloaked, and I know people have a hard time with that. I used to too. It's kind of funny, because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I've been hunting 40 years and never seen one, and then they finally see one, and they admit, yeah, they exist, but all these people who believe these other things are wacky. They don't know what they're talking about. It's kind of funny anyway. So I've been trying to share the video and audio together. I even figured out how to overlay the two, where you can see me walking around and you can hear at the recorder these snaps and bumps and these subtle things are starting to happen while I'm right there. And I was at the dollar store, and I saw these necklaces. They're kind of ugly. They're wood beads, but there would be colored ones mixed in too, and it reminded me of those old abacus mathematic things before they had calculators. When I was in kindergarten or first grade, I don't know, I'm 60 years old. There was one in the school, so I remember. I'll show a picture. This is just a former shell of itself. This I put at site 1. I went back and it was mangled. And I've had some of them taken. The first one I put behind the house, I took a bunch of the beads out so they would slide. And I stretched it out, and they did. One of them did slide some of the beads over, and it put a kink in it too. I never shared that because the skeptics are going to tear me apart for stuff like that. I put this at site 1, and I don't know what happened to it. I put one at site 2, and it disappeared. I put a second one there. I anchored it down so they could slide the beads better, but that one was gone. And then my Squatch buddy, he can't go with me very often because he's got his own stuff going on. He went with me, so I wanted to look around more for them. I couldn't find them. Actually, one was there. I couldn't see it before because it was kind of bunched up and it's wood, so I found that one, and then we were walking out, and he's like, here it is, and it was on top of a fern close to the entrance to the path. It was kind of like, here's your necklace, I don't want it. That was weird, though. I definitely 100% did not drop it there. I have pictures of them, before pictures, by the big barrier that they made where I put this stuff at that particular site. So, I put one at what I call Moose Lake. That one disappeared, and I caught them in the trees in the photo. I took pictures of the trees, and when I zoomed in, you could definitely make out hair. It's 100% not just a blob squatch. You can see hair and an eye, and I finally figured out the hair is the top of the head of one in front of the one where you could see its eye, and he looks like he's black, but you can't see much. But you can definitely tell they're there. So I have the necklaces I've tried, and let's see, at the original site, it's the only place where I have a plastic, I call it a tub, it's like a glorified shoebox, it's a clear plastic tub, and I'll leave an apple, or to me it's just leaving bait, and it's not even a midnight snack. People are like, oh, they're going to get dependent on you. That's totally ridiculous. It's not even a midnight snack, it's like once a week. And it seemed different lately. The interaction there slowed down some. Last year, too, he's still there, but I don't get as much. And something seemed different, because like if I put saltines in it, I flip it upside down and I put this heavy railroad plate on it. It's like 8 pounds, so smaller animals can't get in there. But lately something seemed different, because if I put like saltines before, you'd see 2 big finger marks where it like ripped it out. And lately it's been more shredded, and I thought maybe something's figured out how to get in it finally, maybe some raccoons or something. So I left a trail camera, knowing if it's a Sasquatch, he's not going to go near it because they don't like the cameras. And it was in a place where it was surrounded by all kinds of brush. It couldn't be just knocked over by something. And when I went back, the camera was on its face, and the tub was dragged yards away. So it was definitely a cryptid. Because that's the only time that's ever happened, that tub's been dragged away. And I just thought I'd mention that. I might not record there much the rest of the season, since he hasn't been interacting as much this time of year. And Site 2 is like a mile from there. He's there every time. He's right there. And I haven't gotten, I believe there was a dog man coming in. I think it was the one Scott Carpenter called the flat-headed dog man, because I caught part of it on a trail camera. You could see the eye markings. There was like a blurry reflection over it. You couldn't actually see the eye, but you could see the markings and the shape of the head and the ear. But I haven't heard anything this year that made me think dog man. But this one, it would make freaky sounds. It would scratch like a dog, it snort like a pig, and I know raccoons snort, but it was surrounded by these other sounds it made. And it would push the buttons too, like Sasquatch does, in a very methodical way. They push one button and wait, and push one button and wait. Sometimes they'll hold the button down for a few seconds and it gets more quiet, and then you hear the staticky sound. So it's definitely not, these people are like, it's just a bear. I don't see a bear pushing a button and waiting, pushing the button until they shut it off. They do that many times. I can give you I have shared many audio clips of that. Not all of them, because it gets kind of redundant. You hear beep, beep, and it goes beep, beep, and shuts off. What else did I want to mention? Behind my house, they're here too, and I haven't been outside. I love to have campfires, and it's right by the woods. I haven't been out after dark with a campfire since I realized they're back there. But last week I had a big fire. It got really, really big sometimes. And behind the house, there's a stump where I have rocks stacked on. I think they're sandstone, quite a few of them, big ones, and then they get smaller. And they don't touch it. They've been there all summer. I sometimes put dice around it, and sometimes they'll be moved in a very intelligent, methodical way. Sometimes they'll just be knocked over. But after I put a recorder out that night, too, and the next morning after I had that fire, it was like, they were just everywhere. The rocks, the dice, they were just knocked everywhere. It was a little too quinky-dinky for me. He must have, all I can think is he didn't like that I had this big fire. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't do much back here. I don't want to encourage them. A few weeks ago, I was sitting here relaxing. I did a video about it. He was right here. I heard the snap, pop, mouth sounds that they make sometimes at the recorder. And I looked over there and it quit. And then I put the recorder on the chair, and later that night he shut the recorder off. He was beep, beep, doing the beep, beep thing. It's always been one beep, long pause, one beep. It's never been beep, beep like some random, like a raccoon or something, just stepping on it or playing with it. And, I mentioned how I'm trying to get more video at the larger lake when I put the recorder down. I tripped on the rocks at the original sites, and I put a gouge in, not this lens, but I have a telephoto lens, and sometimes you can see an orb. It reflects. It's always in the same spot. I didn't mention it because I know the skeptics, they take something like this and, everything has always been the camera abnormality. No. I caught the first orbs I caught. There was a big white one, and you could see it's radiating light or energy, and it was surrounded by 20-some bubble-looking orbs. I took a photo and the flash went off, and I shut the flash off because that bugs me outside, especially when I'm taking a distance photo. So I shut it off right away, took another picture. When I got home, the picture without the flash is full. Like I was saying, the picture was full of orbs. My camera is overheating already. It's getting pretty hot out here. So I'll just say goodbye. Thanks for watching. I think I covered everything. But anyways, thank you. Goodbye.